Hey everyone, this is Time Vice with Checkmate Gaming. I'm going to be commentating on this match against x17 that we had last night. The bans were Shin, Jax, Singed, Gragas, Shaco, and Poppy, I believe. We ended up with Udyr, Janna, Annie, and they ended up with Zilean, Mundo, Tristana. We purposely left a few of those open, like Mundo and Zilean, because we were second pick, and we left Janna open, obviously, because we were second pick, so we got to pick two, so we knew we'd get two good characters. In this case, we got Udyr and Janna. We would have liked to have Poppy too, but this is what we ended up with. It's a pretty solid team. I like our team a lot for this first team fight that's coming up here. We warded middle. That's extremely important. As you see, I charge in. We're going to be able to just push them out because we have a much stronger team. Janna's shield is just ridiculous, especially with elixirs. And they're going to be retreating the entire time. We're going to blow most of our summoner's abilities here, and they do make it back to tower. So it's kind of a wash because if they wanted to, they could go back to the fountain right now. I overextend a bit here, probably shouldn't have, but we did get the kill on Time Vice, or on, sorry, Zilean. You see our Annie died. I believe Zilean got the first blood, but it's 1-1 right now. What I would have done if I were them is go into that tower and blue pill immediately. You can make it back to the lane in time before the minions come, and they'd have come back full health, and who knows, we might have still been running around wondering where they went with half health, half mana. I'm making my way back here. As you saw, myself as Udyr and Janna both brought elixirs of fortitude, and Janna's making extremely good use of her elixir right now. She'll hid in those bushes and let Zilean pass it up there. I don't think Zilean thought she would do this much damage, but she does, and that's an easy kill in the laning phase, and that's going to hurt because Zilean's going to miss experience for that one. I'm going to come down here and grab Blizzard since they're one down. We're running 2 smites, and I believe I goof up a bit here because we'd usually like to smite around 9-10 right there, as you saw me do, but Janna's holding the other smite, and she was out of range. That was a mistake by me, I suppose. But regardless, we got the lizard buff. That's a huge help. And again, I want to emphasize that ward in the middle. That ward is a huge help this game. You'll be seeing it later. Moku gets another kill down there in bottom lane. You really don't want to see that in your games. Deaths during the laning phase. Ganks will happen. Deaths and team fights will happen. But you really want to watch your minimap and cut those to a minimum and just do not die in the laning phase. That's really poor. I'm just farming away up there as Udyr, and once Udyr gets farmed, I'm sure all of you have faced a farmed Udyr. He's a nightmare on Twisted Treeline. So I'm getting my minion kills up, and very luckily bottom lane is holding very well and even gaining quite an advantage over him. I was by myself up here soaking up solo experience. You see Mundo just got level 2 there, and I'm sitting on level 4, I believe. I'm going to go up and grab this buff here. You want to control all buffs if possible. That's just a solid advantage you're going to build because there's only so much experience that's going to be coming down those 2 lanes, and in general both teams are going to be soaking up that experience. So if you can pull an advantage by getting some experience off the map in the form of neutrals, then you can really build yourself a good lead going into those first team fights. Okay, I'm all buffed up here, and I'd like to see Mundo push out. This is a fight I'd like to have, but he's being smart right now and just cleaving me up here. As you can see on the mini-map below me, Tristana's there, Zilean came up, Janna just marked that bush there, telling me we can get her, he's in range. And you see we almost did. They thought they were going to gank me, but thanks to that ward, it played out in my favor. Now he's got to go back and again miss out on some experience. As you can see now, we're just laning a bit more. Silent Strike is playing Annie. He's going to farm bottom for a bit. And yeah, we're just going to farm. Sorry, this is my first real commentary. I did a 3 vs 3 tutorial a while back. You can see it on the uploads of the Checkm8 YouTube site. But this is my first actual commentary, and it's actually a lot harder than you think to just talk when we're just sitting here last hitting nonsense. But yeah, you want to stay back and in experience range when you're outmatched like this. I'm a melee hero against Tristana and Mundo. I would get absolutely destroyed if I went in there and tried to last hit on creeps. So you saw me burn my smite. I knew that we wouldn't be doing dragon within a minute 20 or whatever, but it looks like they're going to try it, or possibly I'm going to go ahead and check. But no, they're just up doing the upper jungle. I heard Mundo's cleaver there, so I'm going to go get rid of him, deny him some experience there. I was a little late. I probably should have went up a little earlier. Maybe could have jacked that buff. Yeah, as I was saying, I use smite on the creeps only when I know that lizard or dragon are not going to be contested and within the 120 or whatever it is timer that's on smite. So I go ahead and finish that off because I know that I will have jungle control later. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and blue pill here and get my first items of the game. I like to get Sheen or Phage first on Udyr. You can make a case for getting Malady, however you want to pronounce that. That's also a good item. And Hotshot GG's been going with a locket on Udyr, and that's certainly useful. He's a very good player. I'm not gonna argue with that at all. But it's not always useful. I've seen people do it when Udyr is supposed to be the team's DPS. They've got an Udyr and a couple of support heroes, and Udyr goes locket, and that's no good at all for the team. You got to have enough damage to be able to down their heroes, and Sheen is going to be just about the best damage output item you're going to get, especially since you need the extra mana anyways with the stance switching. We got our first team fight here, first real team fight. See, Annie got out of there and got some good stuns off. I'm switching between Phoenix and Bear, trying to keep them around and do damage. I'm not using Turtle yet because they've been trying to get their damage on Annie, who's been doing a very good job of avoiding it. You saw that flash over the wall there. It was pretty good. So we won that fight also. We're still keeping our advantage here. We got the lizard buff and we're up in kills, and I've been controlling more of the jungle than they have. I don't have absolute control yet. We should probably have a ward top right now. That's extremely useful in the game. You can those neutrals are pretty strong up there, and if you can catch them doing it early game, you can really wreak some havoc on them. Maybe even get a kill or at least steal the buff. We're doing dragon for the first time here, and dragon's on a 5-minute timer, so we're going to be keeping track of that, and we'll be back if it's doable. We'll be back there as soon as it spawns, unless there's a team fight or something. Lizard's going to be coming up again pretty soon also, I would guess. Looks like they're going to buy. I'm just going to farm up a bit more. You want to always try to last hit. Don't auto attack too much. I think I do auto attack quite a bit because Phoenix stances proc every 3 hits, and turtle stance leeches for you. So there's some good reasons to auto attack with Udyr, but in general, just don't do it unless you're pushing a lane to take the tower. You're a lot safer with the lane closer to your tower, and you're going to be able to last hit more effectively if you've always got an attack up. If you're not like mid swing and the creeps at the health you want it to be to kill it. You see the scoreboard here. I don't know if you can read it with the quality. Okay, we're coming to the end of the first 10-minute clip here. I'm going to have to split this game up into, looks like 3 parts because this was a long game. It was a one-sided game pretty much most of the time in our favor, but we did play it kind of safe towards the end, and it ended up taking a while. So it's going to be 3 parts. This is the end of the first part. I'll see you for the second part.